Hey, welcome to BillyGoatTales, everyone. Crypto Billy here. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate everybody that takes time out of their Sunday to give us a little of their time here at BillyGoatTales. So let's go around the room, say hello to everybody, and then we'll say hello to chat. What's going on, Jimmy Jim?
What's going on, Billy? Or should I say, oh, Billy?
Yeah, Jimmy and I have a little... I like Jimmy. He's like, oh, Billy. What's going on, Dave Digital?
Just hanging out. I don't know who, if anybody, could have saw this coming. I'm saying.
We'll definitely get into some of that for sure. What's happening, Red Man? What's going on?
Hey, good to see everybody in the chat. We'll name you guys in a few, but yeah.
Go ahead, run through them, man. Run through them. Say hello.
All right, we got my favorite, Crypto Maniac 1776. What's up, Patriot? How you doing today? Donato Cabrera. We got Wick's wife in the house. We got Jimmy in the house. Let's see here. Alexandra G, the best mod in the game, is in the house. We got DDT. Hopefully he'll be on with us later. We'll see. We got Amy Lewis Crypto is in the chat. She's gonna be on the show here in just a second. And Mike Bulmer. Big shout out Mike Bulmer and Jesse. Good to see you, Jesse. He's here for every show. Dedicated member to our community. Billy, I'll send it back to you.
Yeah, Blocky, good to see you. Wifey, good to see you guys. Maniac, the Maniac, good to see you. It's all good to see you guys. Jay Valley, thanks for stopping in. We appreciate it. So we got a lot to talk about. We will. What we're going to do is we'll go through our format, and then we'll bring Amy. We have Amy Lives Crypto in the house today for everybody. But first, let's get into some crypto bubbles. Redman. There you go.
All right. All right, getting into some bubbles here, as you guys can see. Let's start with we'll start with the month. Okay, so as you can see on the month, XCN is still up 957%. Virtuals is down 67%. A lot of red here, guys. There is a little bit of green spots here and there. We got KuCoin is up 18%. We got Mantra OM, the RWA coin, is up 25.6% for the month. XMR, the privacy coin, that's up 11.5%. GT, which is the Gate.io token, is up 20%. Going to the week, as you can see, just more red, guys. There's more red. There's a lot of red. As you can see, it's a trend that's been happening from the last month, ever since December 24th on. Everything has been in the red for the most part. The daily, same thing. We got a little bit of green on the Trump coin, 4.1%. Pepe, FET, Ronin, Near, it's all red, fellas. It's all red. If we go to the hour, we got a little bit of green in here. There's a little bit of green. Can we get a bounce here, or is it going lower? We'll have to find that out in the show. Stick around and stay tuned. Back over to you, Billy.
Yeah, man. It's been a fun ride, right? It's been a fun ride. We're getting into whether or not it's there's a lot of chatter. There's a lot of chatter about the top and the bottom and everything in between. But let's hit the market update, Dave, and then we'll go from there, brother. All right, so let me make sure. I'm going to refresh this because I had this open and I don't want to be showing you guys some. What I really thought was cool was the fear and greed down to 47. We saw that going all the way down to 47, which is wow. To me, it's a good sign. That's just my own personal DJing opinion. But let me refresh this real quick. Yeah, Bitcoin at 96,945. One thing to pay attention to, look at that market cap, 3.22 trillion, and that is down 6%, which is incredible. When you're talking about 3.22 trillion and it's down 6%, those are some big numbers. We also have like I said, the fear and greed at 47, and Bitcoin dominance still at 59.51. If we're going to keep seeing that up there around that 60%, I don't think we're going to see altcoin season sweep in with that kind of dominance. Hey, there's a first for everything, and this has definitely been the bull run of first, right? This has definitely been the bull run of first, right? So we had the all-time high for this sector set before the halving, right, when they hit over 70, and then we had the ETFs come in first. We just lots of first, right? Lots of first happening. So just real quick on some of these, I don't know if you guys can see it with our heads down there, but that's okay. Some of the trending on the DEX is the YE on Sol. Never heard of that one. And LCP on Sol too. Those are trending up. That LCP's at 619%. So and then this interesting one, it's really what it brought my attention. Did you notice this one on Sol? Coinbase on Sol up 748%. Don't know anything about it. Probably worth taking a look at, but I'm not familiar with that one myself. So lots of interesting things going on in the crypto space this week. Been a wild ride. What about you, Jimmy? How are you feeling about it all?
I'm just standing here with my mop bucket and a big mop, and I'm just ready to sop up a little blood out of the streets here. I don't think it's over. I mean, no reason to necessarily think that, but I always said, this one's kind of starting like all the previous, but I'm really interested to see how it ends. And yeah, I mean, that's definitely playing out. We're not following the exact script that we have previously, for sure.
Yeah, man, it's been a wild ride. One of the takeaways from the last bull market that was one of my takeaways, my personal takeaways, was the last bull market. I said, I do not have enough Bitcoin, because that is the one, right? That's the one when things hit the fan, that's the one you want. And so I did 2022, right? I started loading up on Bitcoin. So it still doesn't feel good, right, when it goes down like that. But I am so blessed and happy and thankful that was a lesson that I took away from the last cycle, because in the end, I think as long as you just keep your Bitcoin and hold your Bitcoin, I think overall through the long term, I think you're going to be just fine. So glad I loaded up on Bitcoin. I bought a little more today, actually. When Lifer went in and bought some Bitcoin, I tend to, when he buys, and if I'm watching, I tend to buy too. It's been really good. So, but with that said, we are going to add Amy up here. That's my bad, Dave. You did right. I just kept on talking. Welcome to the stage, Amy.
Amazing. I love that. It's like I'm on a big important news segment or something like that.
We're learning. We're learning. We're trying to get better. Yeah.
Crypto's bloody. Hi guys, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing great.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me. Hey chat, I see everyone in there. Thanks for coming.
It's just a normal day. Nothing big. Not going to talk about anything today. No news I'm not supposed to tell anybody about. So nothing going on.
Well, okay, I'll transition for you, Dave. So I was talking to the guys prior to the stream, and just to kind of let everybody know, I was called out several times for being absent from the crypto space. And it is breaking news that on this channel, I will announce that I have been minting a baby girl. And so she is due the last day of the Bitcoin conference. And so I have been a little MIA, but I'm back in full force, feeling better, and truly blessed. So thank you to everyone who's reached out. I love you. I am okay. I'm healthy. Everyone here is healthy and happy and great.
Yay! Congratulations! A BillyGoatTales.
We got a new Bitcoiner coming.
Yeah, another little Bitcoiner on the way.
That's so awesome. That is so
Thank you
awesome.
so
Such
much
a
for that.
blessing.
Such a blessing.
Yeah. So you guys aren't far away from my two twin grandbabies. They're 6 months now.
They're absolutely adorable. Thank you for the pictures. So sweet.
Yeah, and Alex O's a baby boy is, I think he's five.
And we were
5
saying
months.
5-ish months, we think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
They'll,
I was gonna
they'll all
ask.
grow up to love each other and talk about Bitcoin and how crazy their parents and grandparents were.
that's right.
Since we're talking about the baby, do you want to talk about a little bit about? Do you have a new schedule that you're planning on keeping with that? Are you going to be away for a little bit longer? What are your thoughts?
I mean, it wasn't anticipated that I would need to take time in the beginning. My son, Solomon, is 4.5. He's very excited. He kisses my belly every morning and says, "Good morning, sister." But my pregnancy with him was so different than this one. I was mowing the lawn when I was 41 weeks pregnant with a push mower, even though we had a riding one. And so I felt like Superwoman. And then this one I knew it was a girl because she was just a little more sassy than anything. So we're feeling good. We're going to keep pushing. Talking about crypto is a passion. And so as long as I'm feeling healthy enough to do it, we're going to roll with it. Yeah.
Are you gonna have?
I can't fly to the Bitcoin conference, unfortunately. So I will have a ticket that I will have to give away. It can't go to waste. Somebody has to go. You have to experience it. It's such an amazing thing. So we'll figure out the logistics of that. And if you'll have me, we'll probably do it on this stream. Makes sense. Yeah. You're with family. So,
Awesome.
so yeah, that's the only thing that really holds me up is not being able to fly at that time.
Well, if you plan it correctly, you could just drive a month in early.
Right. Okay. Yep. Yeah. You had an Airbnb with the family. Yeah.
Just go ahead and have a Vegas baby.
Yes. Why not? I'll tell my doctor on Friday when I go.
Yeah. Come on in, Doc.
Dave decided. Thank you for that.
Mike says too sassy in one's household. Two sassies in one's house.
That's right. Yeah. God is good.
I don't know how Mike is. I know Mike just recently started dating Lily AI, and I'm not sure if they're gonna be expecting to.
Mike, you didn't tell me that.
They're gonna have little Caspros.
Yeah, I think they are gonna have little Caspros.
Oh, that'll be disruptive for sure.
Hey, RMT, you see, I didn't say a word, bro. You saw that.
Banned right here. I'll be the first one banned right off the show.
Dated Lily AI.
Yeah,
This is definitely how rumors start. Watch Twitter tomorrow. It's going to be everywhere.
So what's been going on with your channel, Amy? Like, tell us, tell us like all about that piece, because I know it's a big part of what you enjoy to do. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, so I guess now I've been posting on YouTube for about 1.5 years now, a little less than 1.5 years. And I always kind of knew that it was going to be slow and steady growth, just because my approach right now isn't, multiple daily streams or, quick content, so to speak. I really like to take the time. I mean, if you've seen my stuff, you know that I take time to edit it. And I want green content to really be able to be searchable for people who are just learning about Bitcoin, the importance of. I think once you really know the origin of the why, then you're able to see the utility behind how it touches so many things in life. And that's why I love the topics that we're talking about today, because I think cryptocurrency, as much as people want me to be a Bitcoin maxi, and we all know Bitcoin is king, it's worth knowing the utility of other projects and how blockchain overall can help people. And so when I'm putting my videos together, I would like to think that they'll be searchable in the years to come. And so that's why I take the time to put them out. And so you get a couple of new subscribers here and there. And maybe I'm late. I'm not as cool as I'm not an influencer YouTuber. Like when I get 2 or 3 subscribers, it makes my day. I'm like, oh yay, 3 more people that want to learn about this stuff. And yesterday, actually, Red Panda Mining had his 250,000 subscriber giveaway. And he had shared my channel on his channel. And I'm so forever grateful to him just because he's a very kind human. But to do that, I got a lot of attention on my channel and people came through and subscribed and commented. And it's just, the space is really lovely. I can't say enough how wonderful the people are who just want people to learn. And that's what Givers Gain is. And Panda has helped me with Caspa mining, educated me on that. Like, mining in general is a whole nother language to me. And he really takes his people through step by step all the questions that they would have. So I've learned a lot from him. The mining space is one that I really gravitate towards too. So it was a big day for me yesterday. It was wonderful.
So you have a miner set up and ready to go?
I'm mining Caspa. Yeah,
Right now. Okay.
I am. Yeah, I'm mining Caspa. I have been for, gosh, Retro Mike probably knows better than me. 6 months now, maybe.
I can't believe that Retro Mike is
Oh
happy.
shoot, maybe I was supposed to keep that a secret, Mike. I'm so sorry.
I can't believe that
outed him.
Retro Mike is
I
happy
outed
that
him.
you're mining Caspa.
I
There it
outed
is
him
behind
on
the
helping me
scenes.
set up my miner. I know. He's a gem.
Busted.
He's gonna be so mad. He's gonna be so mad.
Shoot, I'm
know,
sorry, Mike.
We've been asking Mike to kind of work around the scenes and get Red Panda to come on the show. We're very interested to have him either on the live show like this or on the X Space, because what he brings to the table is just, there's no other like him.
Smart.
So
So smart and so sarcastic.
giving.
He really keeps the attention of people in his stream. He's just, people
Yeah,
call
and
him the mining overlord. And it's, yeah, he really leads his people to understand. And everyone's so grateful and appreciative. So that's definitely something that I hope I can emulate like him one day. He's a rare breed, that one.
He's been
so
doing
Red
it a
Panda,
long
if you're
time.
listening,
Yeah, he
yes.
really has been doing it for a while.
Yeah, I'm thankful to RMT too. He introduced me to a lot of those guys
Yeah.
at the show, and I saw their channels. I knew about them, but I never met them, so I was really grateful that those connections were made. And we bought a couple of solo miners. There's several of us. We're in a GF Burke's pool with some solo mining. I think Redman, Tone, Biomix, and myself. So we're learning ourselves about mining. And hey, better way to start than just doing a little solo miner, right? I mean,
By doing it yourself, knowing how to set it up, it really has everything come full circle. So
yeah.
Knowing all the little ins and outs of crypto, you're able to educate other people on the same thing. So yeah, I like it.
Bert's got a Discord up. I'll have to see if I can get that link. I'll see if I can put it in the chat. But Bert's got a Discord up if you guys are interested in joining other people and putting your hash rate together so you have a better chance of hitting a Bitcoin block. I think he also does, there's Caspa in there as well. So if you were interested in mining Caspa or Bitcoin and you want to join others and greatly improve your chances of hitting a block, I'll put the link in there for you guys.
Awesome. Yeah. Givers Gain, man. Share it out. That's one of the reasons we wanted Amy to come on here too. We didn't know that she had such wonderful news. So that's a surprise.
I kept it quiet. Michael obviously knew, Retro Mike. And then TA Tim, they're good at keeping secrets. Women, if you need to vent a secret, tell a guy in crypto. They keep your secrets. I swear. The guys are so good. So yeah, nobody really knew. But I'm back and I'm producing some content. I'll have something coming out next week.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
go ahead. Good.
With your channel and everything, and the new agents and the new AI and the new narrative that's going on with that, have you found a great use case so far in your own personal use for any agents or AI other than just maybe ChatGPT? And even if ChatGPT, you could share a little bit about that. But my real interest is, have you been using any other type of AI like an agent or any kind of automation that you've found luck with or that helps, or have you just been grinding from the back source and maybe hiring help or something like that?
Well, so the team is me. So I do all of my own stuff. I've taken meetings to see how I can be within other channels. And nothing is confirmed right now. There's something that's kind of open and lingering with another channel, but I haven't been able to push play on anything just because I'm so comfortable with the timing of everything. I love that I'm in crypto and it gives me time. And so I do work full time, but I think the reason why people have different ideas of what wealth are. So there's wealth that's like money, buying things. Like I'm never going to be the one posting my cyber truck on X. Like I don't want things. Like I want time with my family. I want to work at my own pace and make quality projects. And so to have another boss, to be with another channel, that's not where I'm at today. And so it does take me longer to produce things. As far as AI goes, the tools that I use aren't AI. Maybe like, you know what, maybe like AI wise is like coming up with help for the description for your channel. Maybe like, I think I did that twice, but then I'm such a perfectionist and I'm like, this doesn't sound like me. So you end up changing it anyway. So for me, it almost takes more time for things like that, but I'm an avid book reader and I'm always watching, you know, you're on the treadmill, you're watching a YouTube video about something and you get inspired. So constantly taking notes on my phone and then kind of compiling them. It probably would be quicker to have some sort of like AI assistant to do those things. I haven't taken a step back to find those things because I've kind of gotten in the rhythm of make a script, feel comfortable with it, make sure all your sources are clear and, you know, factual. I guess I don't trust ChatGPT enough to like tell me, because then there's the little disclaimer, this can screw up. And then you don't want to be the person that puts fake content out there, I guess.
Right. Where are you finding your most success? Is it on X? Is it on YouTube? Is it on have you tried other platforms that you're
success meaning number of followers or subscribers?
However you define it. Yeah, I would say the fastest growth of real people that you feel are engaged.
Fastest growth has been YouTube, but that's just of like late. X, that's where I gravitate towards most of my information. For me, it just feels the most honest. And then you get into your realm of the people you watch every day on YouTube and kind of, you know, get ideas from them. And I go down deep research holes. And so sometimes it's like you want to get to a video every week or every 2 weeks, depending on the topic, and, you know, just being able to get it right and to have it be clear and factual. It takes longer, but I'm okay with that. I never assumed that the algorithm and myself were going to be married. It's not a relationship that's going to work right now. So, yeah. So just kind of going at my own pace and making sure what I'm putting out there represents, you know, the honesty behind the time I took to do it.
Are you putting yourself on all the platforms at the moment with new content, or are you simply focusing on a couple?
So long form ones and short, I'll put on YouTube and X. I totally took a break from TikTok for a while, but then when it was decided that TikTok was potentially going to still be a thing, I'll put a short out there on TikTok and things. Instagram, I haven't decided where that's going to live with me now. I'm not going to be the girl who, you know, posts pictures of myself or my family. Maybe like interviews down the road, little snippets on Instagram, but I open TradingView accounts and help people learn how to do TradingView. I don't want to be the OnlyFans crypto creator of any kind. So yeah. Different ways to have attention in crypto.
Yeah, there's money with your clothes on, thank God.
Yeah.
I mean, crypto would be in trouble if there wasn't. You don't want Dave Digital taking it off up here. I'm just saying.
Everyone has a way, right? Choices.
So, you said that you were off of TikTok for a little while and then back on it. Forgive me because I don't get on there a lot.
Yeah.
Did you find any success over there? What worked for you on TikTok, or is it still confusing?
You know what the crazy thing is? I started on TikTok and I didn't show my face for the longest time. I just found things that I thought were interesting about crypto and kind of did like a screenshot and then like edits to different information that were all correlated and started putting them on there to music. And I grew really fast. And by grew, like people have millions of followers, but I had like 2,500 followers within a couple of months, and without showing my face, without talking, just was sharing interesting information. And then I got a lot of duplicate accounts like a week after I showed my face. Like people screenshotted and made channels that were different names but had my face on it. And so after that, I was kind of like, Well, that was fun, but you know, if other people are like copying everything and then putting it on theirs, I was like, let's do something that's a little more unique and individualistic to actually be me. And that's when I decided to jump over to YouTube and give that my attention. So first 6 months of content creation was just TikTok. And then TikTok decided to run with it. And I was just like, yeah, we'll try something else.
What do you think about X's video broadcast? Do you think he's gonna rival YouTube in the future?
I think so. I mean, the people working there are so smart. It seems like when there's a will, there's a way. And I have learned, even if I haven't liked everything that Elon Musk has done, he can create. And if he has a goal, he usually reaches that goal. So I'm interested to see what he does. I never go against Elon anymore. He's just impressed me too much and come so far that I will root for him and say, yes, if he wants to do it, he will do it.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I don't know when we're going to be able to make that full transition because it's not near as interactive, but the numbers are obviously over there. And so they don't have the super chats. They don't have, all the things that makes YouTube fun. But maybe he's going to deliver a different product that is able to, at least rival it. It's not the exact same, and we'll still love it. He knows what we love. Let's just hope.
I agree with you 100%. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, me too.
I like competition.
Yeah, me too. Because nobody's really competed with YouTube yet. There's a Rumble and there's all these other things, but it's not the same. There doesn't have the same reach as YouTube has, so nobody's competed. And I would like to see a competitive product.
And to have it be on that platform where you don't have to worry about cancel culture or what you can and cannot say. YouTube is finicky. It knows what it likes. And I think it's getting less and less with the new administration. But to be able to speak freely on X, I think if they can make it work, people will move. If that is the only barrier, they will move.
Let me ask you, while we're talking about trust, what do you think about Zuck? Do you think jiu-jitsu made that boy a man and now we can trust him, or we're going to get close, or do you think that he's just faking it?
To me, I don't think a couple of muscles and a hair change really does a whole lot as far as integrity goes. I think he has paid enough people and he has probably the best PR firm to come out and kind of say the things that you need to say. I'm interested to see if this administration will actually call him in to question him further and to see what charges he could be facing with what he did. It's one thing to say sorry and to say that I own it and I want to be better. The damage is already done. And so I appreciate an apology. I believe that people are able and they should become better people, and growth is always something that we should strive for. I didn't feel like when he was doing his apology tour, it didn't feel genuine to me. I feel like it was somebody trying to say the right thing to keep themselves out of the courtroom.
Yeah, maybe. I just hope that the combat side of it, the combat sports, and being on the mat with people that's serious time. You can't really fake that. So I just hope that helps him in some way.
I'm all for physical activity. I think a healthy body, healthy mind, all of that is very correlated. To me, it's the honesty factor with him.
Yeah.
That's
true. I see that we have a new addition. Cluck, clap.
What's up, guys?
What's up, Boyle?
But I don't know if you were here earlier, but you missed the big announcement. We're not going to tell you what it is. You'll have to go back to the beginning.
I definitely will. Yeah, sorry, guys. It took me a while to get checked in and everything, but I'm here. So
yeah, brother.
Are you at the hotel?
Yeah, I'm at the hotel. Yep.
Nice.
So I want to say hi to Alex O. I saw you pop in, Alex O. Thanks for coming in. We also want to say hello to Wick 589. Let's go, Wiki. We love you, brother. And who else did I see pop in here? AJ popped in. Good to see you. Dutchy, good to see you, brother. Our resident Dutch master. Blocky's back. Good to see you, man. Appreciate you. Username, good to see you. Thank you guys all. Jonathan Schaefer, master trader right there. Thanks for stopping in. We appreciate you guys all. stopping in. Of course, Mike Vollmer too. I am going to take this invite and send it out for I'm sure DDT's probably going to be floating around out there somewhere. So I'm going to copy and paste that in there for DDT. So when we get to the charts here in a little bit, he can pop up. If not, Pollo, you're gonna. If DDT's out doing something, what are you into?
I got it, man. I got it. I got a BD a Bitcoin chart up, and I can do some alts too. So for sure.
Billy, do you think we're in a prime position for a nice little fake out to the upside?
I mean, like I said, I can go over the chart and tell you guys where we're at right now. We hit a point of control, which I'm sure Dave was probably looking at the same point of control that I am, but we pierced it and, we tapped it. We tapped below it, but we're not under it yet. So we got to let some time.
Technically, we're under it a little bit.
They're gonna try to trap you.
Well, there's a lot of pocket. So we're also
there's a lot of confluence. There's a fair value gap at the bottom of that range, and it also happens to be the 618. So I mean, I'm sorry, the 786. So yeah, I mean, we're
786 is also the value area low.
Yeah. So you have a lot of confluence there. You got on the 4-hour chart, because Darren's like me, he's a big 4-hour chart guy. So
yeah,
there's a lot of price action right there. So we might just go. The thing that I don't like is the alts. Some of them got back into their bear ranges, their bear market ranges, and I'm really I don't like seeing them there. I don't like them hanging out in that. It's just gonna make it harder for them to come out of that again. So, but other than that, I mean, that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
I was watching Ben Cowan the other day, and he said this is just normal. He said we did this the same the last time, and he said compared to 21 and 17, he's like, this is more like 17, but don't sweat it.
Yeah, I mean, I had to just be
pretty even kill. I mean, what he says
a month of red candles, but don't sweat.
Yeah,
you get through it.
We gotta breathe, guys. We gotta breathe. You gotta breathe a little bit. I can't go straight up forever. So for sure.
Unless you bought into Rune, then you're down 90%.
Well, Rune was I think it hit $1. Did it hit $1? That was
$1. Yeah, they said it's a problem, man. Rand tried to back it up.
Yeah. So basically, Rune had to shut down their liquidity pools. I believe that's what happened. I remember reading it, and I think they had an issue with liquidity. So I mean, what's going to happen is you basically everybody's going to want out. So you can't shut down your pool like that.
Changes that they're making in the protocol. So yeah, not good stuff.
I mean, this is crypto.
People are going to run, guys. I mean, I'm surprised we didn't see a Baron Chump come up with a coin, and this is gonna go from Uncle all the way to Baron. You know what I'm saying? So it's literally that's what it is. I personally don't like it. I'm not a fan of the way that we're just jumping. And when I was talking to the team about the DeepSeek thing, forget about the technical analysis. I mean, you have this news come out and wipes out $500 billion from the U.S. stock market in one day. I mean, and I'm not joking around. Like, I'm going to show you guys $500 billion. It's more than that. But I mean, think about a piece of news doing that, and you start doing the research. I'm just amazed at, like I said, where a lot of, I don't know if this is but I'll tell you this. Patience is something that people don't have a lot of nowadays. I can even tell you that I'm as guilty as that. Like, I was looking back at that because I started, and I'm like, man, and even I am a little bit more impatient than I was, I could probably say 10 years ago. And, I know a lot of, some of us are over 40 here in this group. So, I mean, in the 80s, when you had to do research, it wasn't Alexa or computer, and you have the answer, your mom had to drop you off at the bus station so you can, unless you were cool and you had encyclopedias or something like that. So I think that's what it is. I think people just get impatient and just the reactions. And I have a tinfoil hat about the whole DeepSeek thing. I really do. Like I've told you guys what I think. I've read about it. I logged into that thing. I think it's just an old play from the China playbook. You know, the Chinese figured out how to slave labor AI. That's that, and I'll go into and show you guys.
I think that's one aspect of it, but I think if you look into the team behind it, first of all, it's a hedge fund team, and China doesn't support hedge funds. They frown on it. Second of all, they built it simply so that they could use it, so they could get an advantage in the trading. So it wasn't built for us. They built it for their own selves to use it. So, and they that's why they built it so cheaply. So I don't know that it's just they're trying to throw something out really cheap slave labor. I think these guys are really smart, and they were trying to build something that would give them an advantage in the trading market.
Yeah, that's not.
So they built this, and then they released it open source. Somebody got a hold of it, and they're like, "Holy crap! Look at this!"
Yeah.
And I
think the open source is that's where I think that was, for me, that was the number one, was the open source. Like that was number one. Was, you look at what we have here, and then they come up with something that's open source. Now you can't say, oh, there's hidden malicious code in there that's going to spy on you. It's open source. If you know what you're doing, you can take a look at it, and there it is. And I think it's the learning language model that they have, which is, it gives you the answer and explains how it came to that answer, which some AIs aren't doing that. So, and then, you look at, that the token example, ChatGPT, $4.40 for 1 million tokens, $4.40. DeepSeek, 10 cents. That's 97% difference, guys. So, at the end of the day,
would you rather have your information on our servers or China's servers?
Neither. I'd rather learn how to run it locally.
Are you on TikTok? If you were on TikTok before, like, you've already given all your stuff to China too. So,
hey, Google's gonna share it. I don't think Google's keeping our secret.
You're right. How
well, here's the difference.
China,
open AI. So this is open source, right? So supposedly
AI is not open.
No, I know open. No, I'm saying like open source AI. Like, remember, they have open source. It's all out there. So I don't know. I'm not a coder, so I couldn't tell you, how are you but I know that if it's open source, you can see what's there and, eliminate what you don't want. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not a coder, I'm not an AI expert by any chance, but from what I've been reading, that's what I think that's what some of the key factors. I'm sure there's other ones, and there's people who are way smarter than me. But like, I just looked at it as a business, as from a business perspective, because for something to come out, look at how interesting this happened. They put the news out on a Sunday at 5:00. Like, look, I'll show you guys the timestamps. And then the news that was put out there was very, very vague, not specific to things. And then you do it right on. Like I said, I just think the timing was suspect, and this is Foil putting his tinfoil hat on, guys, because
I would like next week that you bring the tinfoil hat with you and actually wear it.
Yeah, next time.
Look at Trump. Trump said the United States is going to be the crypto capital of the world. But China didn't like that very much.
I was going to say, do you think it was done at that time in direct response to him getting in and kind of being all huffy about being number one? Because it kind of looks like a slap in the face. Like, we had so little because they weren't able to get the chips that were necessary, that we thought were necessary, that we were using. So they were able to make something so amazing at such little cost, if you believe the estimate of the cost that they gave. I mean, that's kind of something to question too, but it's impressive.
Even if it's if it was 100 times that, it's still much, much, much cheaper than the infrastructure that OpenAI has put in. So, and this is just the first instance. So just imagine the next and the next and the next and the next instances that are much, 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 much cheaper.
And let's add.
You just need to open DeepSeek locally on our. You can open it. So there's different forms of it. So there's the biggest form, which is like 71 billion, I think is what he said, 71 billion, the parameters, right? So there's different versions of it. Obviously, the biggest parameter is going to have the most information in it. But none of our desktops are going to be able to run that. Like that version of DeepSeek is all the information, right, in the world. You got to have substantial hardware to be able to run that type of DeepSeek. So people are running the 1.5 to maybe 6 billion, the smaller versions of it. And then not only that, they can run it on our servers instead of running it on China's servers. And you can open it up locally. Our team knows about that.
Sounds like you better call Cams.
Yeah, you better call Cam. Yeah, yeah. So you could run that program for you. You could run it here instead of running it over there in China.
And like I said, I was waiting for the next, Chinese AI thing to came out, and I mean, like clockwork, guys. Alibaba, we're coming out with the next greatest thing, and I was like, I mean, it's the thing is how we fall for it. And like I said, the beating that we took, with all this news coming out of regulation and all that, and then just this one event, I think it's a shakeout. To be honest with you, I don't see this company. Yes, they did innovation, and by the way, I'm glad what they did, because what that does is it forces other companies to be better, right? That's how innovation works. That's how we move forward. It's got to be disruptive. It's got to change the game, and you're gonna feel some pain for a while, but at the end of the day, that's how things get done. So like I said, I just think that I don't think that all that news is out there, because I logged into that thing before they hacked it. I logged in and I asked it questions, and they weren't accurate. Now, like I said, because it's open source, from what I've been reading, and again, I'll say this, I'm no AI expert, but there's more room for improvement. And I'm a big believer in open source, because open source is community, is many minds, right? Well, that saying, two minds are better than one. Well, open source is many minds, and I've seen great things come out of open source products. So I think it's a wait and see, but I mean, I think what we're seeing now, and I think tomorrow is going to be a bloodbath, because like I said, that tariff thing, everybody was thinking the tariff thing wasn't going to happen until next month, and they assured everybody, and they did it after the market closed on Friday. So
let's talk about tariffs. What do you guys think about these tariffs? Do you think he's going to be able to get rid of income taxes for the American people? Do you think it's a net win, or do you think it's a lose-lose, or do you think it's a little bit of both? Billy?
If you zoom out, the basic premise is, hey, let's quit taxing the American people and let's tax the countries. Let's bring the money into the country and not recycle, print more dollars, and have us pay more taxes and keep bleeding the American people. And from just that big macro level view, instead of taxing us, I mean, tax the world and make it more of a equal playing field. I'm for that. I mean, who doesn't want their taxes lowered if you live here, right? I'm for that. So now how you execute that, like, to be honest, if I was Trump, and I'm not, but you asked me my opinion. So if I was Trump, I probably, in North America, Canada, and Mexico, I probably would have had a nice collaboration explaining why we have to do what we have to do. And maybe he did that, right? Maybe behind the scenes, but it did seem real fast. And I saw that Canada basically retorted quickly with a 25% tariff on U.S. goods. So now you kind of have this little bit of a rumble going on. But zooming out, big picture, in his last term, he kind of equaled the playing field with China with those tariffs. I was for that. And then this time around, he did the 10% on China, 25 on Mexico and Canada. And look, I don't have enough information to say how unbalanced was it. I just have to have some trust there that if it was that unbalanced, that basically he had to increase it to balance it out, right? And I'm all for getting rid of more internal revenue agents and do external revenue agents. that seek to ensure that we're getting our money's worth instead of having everybody focus on us and the IRS focused on us because, we forgot, especially in crypto, where you forgot from 4 years ago that you had a $10,000 asset that you didn't claim on 2021's taxes or something. It's like, come on. But that's just my own personal opinion. Doesn't mean squat. It's just how I'm thinking about it.
The way I look at it is a stronger dollar means a weaker Bitcoin. So we're seeing that already. We're seeing the effects of it. We're seeing a stronger dollar. We're seeing a weaker Bitcoin. And I believe that tariffs in the long run, just like Billy said, I believe it's bullish for the United States. I believe that crypto is the sacrificial lamb right now. It will come back. But, and yeah, don't go out selling your bags right now. The year's not over with, guys. But the last month, that being said, the last month has not been fun. It has not been fun in crypto.
Today hasn't been fun.
Red candles. So,
today alone, my alt bag is down 10%. I mean, and the worst thing that I did is I looked at it, I was like, Jesus, But I mean, that's what it is, man. And I think one of the things about the tariffs, Billy,
go ahead.
Is what? Let's look at what Trump has also said, and this is me not advocating for Trump. This is just sometimes you gotta listen to. I try to really listen to what people say. I honestly think that this is something that he's doing to get people to come to the table, because he said it. Come to the table. We can negotiate this. But I think that shock value has to happen for people to say, okay, well, I guess he's not playing around, so I guess we are going to have to come to the table.
Yeah, and look, it's kind of proven out that he's 5 steps ahead of everybody. It seems like, even when you don't see it yourself, he sees it already. And so, I mean, that's just from his last term. That's what it seemed to result in my mind. He's a businessman, man. He's thinking through things better than what he's able to communicate with, right? So, I mean, he's thinking through it. So, hey, we're all different. Look, I think it's long for the United States. I think there's going to be some short-term disruption. I do think that as goods are increasing in cost, that means inflation. I do see that. I think this is definitely going to have an impact on the cost of goods, and I think that's going to mean higher prices, which that's going to mean inflation. They've already struggled to kind of get beat down to levels where they feel are acceptable. They want in that 2% range, and so I don't know. We'll see how it works, but I just have faith that it's going to work out for us in America, and that's just how I see it. I am going to real quick. I don't want to really. This is great conversation, but we do have DDT down there, so I want to make sure that we get him up here. DDT's in the building.
Good afternoon. Good evening.
I'm sorry we made you wait. We just got into a whole bunch of good conversation.
I was listening in the background. It's all good. It's all good.
So, Amy, DDT, right?
Definitely do. Yes. Okay. I could just sit and listen to his voice in the background all day. Just keep talking.
It's calming. I know it's calming, right? Like it's
so calming.
Like when we're dropping down, the way he explains, it's like, oh, okay, I don't feel that bad.
Life is good. Darren,
man. Darren, what's up, man?
As a trader, it's one of the things you need to get on top of is controlling the emotions, because it can be a minefield.
And and so from the outside looking in, Darren, what do you think about the tariffs too? What do you think?
It's a strong arm, in my view. He's doing it as a bargaining chip. That's kind of my overriding consensus on the whole thing.
I agree on that.
So for the time being, I think that's what he's doing. They'll have some discussions. He'll force other countries to come to the bargaining table, and they'll sort it out. That I don't think specifically Trump would want to have that all kind of in and just strong arm everything, and then it cuts ties too much with some of the allies, and the food chains and all those type of things, the logistics chains and supply chains. He's going to cause himself endless nightmares if he just carries on being strong armed about it. So it's more for discussion, or to kind of form a discussion, at least a bargaining chip.
Yeah, I think so. He definitely has the art of the deal, right?
Can I just ask one question? Dave, if your avocados get too expensive, will we still see them on your plate on X when you post your supper?
I think so. I mean,
Okay.
they
So
fluctuate right now in price.
Avocados. Okay.
The avocados go up. Dave's
Pictures
only
of
gonna eat
raisins.
chickpea.
I just
David's
have to drink
one
better.
raisin.
And nuts.
The avocados
Yeah,
are cheaper.
Avocados are 88 cents a piece right now at my grocery store.
Yeah, that's
88
about what they
cents.
are here too. For the little ones, and that's normally the ones I'll get because the big ones aren't worth the $3 because they just have a bigger seed.
Yeah.
That and flowers for Valentine's Day. Guys, you do not have to get your wives flowers just this year because they're going to be so expensive and you won't find them anywhere. Chocolate is still good.
We have yellow roses and purple roses and some lilies on the table now.
Oh, man.
Ooh.
All right.
I don't have fresh flowers.
Rocco, in and out. We see you down there. Good to see you, brother. You know, you're always welcome to the stage, Rocco. Hey, so DDT, let's get into let's see how bad this is, man. Pull up.
My
Dave
screen is-
Digital with the sound effects. He's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if you
Let's
guys can
go.
see that.
Easy.
All right,
Yeah.
quick zoom out, and we'll quickly go to the daily. Just hide the indicators. So, for the most part now, we've obviously been looking at these two ranges. We had this small range above the macro range that we formed. So that's the macro range. Where what we've done this week is with the top range. If I zoom out a bit, I have them marked out. I don't have the volume profile drawn, the FRVP, but I've just marked out the levels that I had. And so basically this week, going into Thursday, Friday, we were just messing around above typical value area play, volume profile play, not necessarily a bearish divergence, but on the lower, really low time frames, as we moved up here on Friday, we had a hidden bearish divergence, which is probably on the 5 minute. If I had to go back and check, sorry, I have to zoom back a bit. My indicator will show it probably. So we had obviously a bearish divergence, 5 minute as such. So it's not really that good, or not really that high time frame. So sometimes they can be negated and just kind of blown through. But what happened is we were above the value area high of the small range here between 104 to 105.5, came up, put in a bearish divergence, came down. And then obviously when we got below this POC, or around this POC, we started putting in hidden bearish CVD, which is bearish absorption. So obviously sellers stepped in, and then it just puked all the way down. And so for the most part, the one thing that was alarming to me, sorry, don't worry about this DNPOC. This is a new one from Saturday. But for the most part, we deviated this range, came down, hit the POC, had some absorption, came down, fell out of it, and then obviously proceeded all the way down back to the macro range. Macro range, value area high, tried to hold as support. Obviously failed, came back in, back tested, and obviously we lost the range. I think it was on the 4 hour when I was double checking it that we had the back test. So here was 4-hour vector through the macro value area high, bearishly backtested on the 4-hour. So once that happens, obviously now you start moving further down, laws of the volume profiles, look where we're at now, we're back at the POC. So for the most part, money flow looks like absolute do on most time frames. This is the 4-hour, it's coming out, still red coming out on the 1-hour. Daily wasn't looking too good. The daily is still coming down. And this is also, for me, this reeks of capitulation again, kind of paper hands, that type of, but it's always when, for me, it's always when things start seeming overly bullish that you'll have these capitulation type events which just like sell, and the amount of vectors just coming through the sell volume, it's just, yeah, long spots capitulating, everyone is just max shorting, it's just like a no long zone. But for the most part, there was no longs. Once you deviate and you come below macro value area high, our point of control is the next zone that we're going to come to. So there's pretty much no, ideally you should not have been longing in this zone if you were following the kind of laws of the volume profiles. So now we've come down to the macro value area POC, and we are kind of getting a bounce. I am hoping, so one thing we are waiting for now is this 4-hour green dot to confirm. A 4-hour green dot close above this POC might trigger a little bit of an uptick, but also as well, where we're going to come back to, probably, I don't think for the most part we would get back up to 102 at this POC, although the liquidity is sitting there if we looked at liquidity. So for the most part, if anything, if it's going to rotate back up and it's going to get another rejection, it might do a move back up to the value area high and then obviously proceed lower. But for the most part, looking at what's happening here, we are probably going to put a lower high somewhere in here to then proceed further down. Money flow at this point is not really supporting a move back up or a yeet. But also as well, I've always kind of got in the back of my mind that we've got Sailor, who always does his buys on Mondays. So we're going to get old bullish Sailor coming out tomorrow, definitely with a RR bought Bitcoin again. And they've probably been accumulating in the down, which is always the case anyway. You don't buy the green, you buy the red. He's just been lucky like the last 2 weeks that he's not necessarily, or the last 2 or 3 buys, he's not necessarily, I think last one he bought at 102 or 103 anyway. But for the most part, this is probably a better buy for him. He's probably averaging around 100k buy if he announces it. And I kind of, I have a suspicion he is buying and he is going to announce tomorrow, because there was some stock, there's some money released. I don't know what how he, all the logistics and all the ins and outs of how he actually buys the shares or sells the shares to, or issues shares to get the money to buy the Bitcoin. But for the most part, we're hitting a handbrake here at the moment. What we did do quickly as well, so there's not really much else to report on price action. I'll go into the lower targets in a bit, but for the most part, we've still not hit this liquidity on the monthly heat map. So there's liquidity just at 96. We've just front run, but what's happened at this point is we've bounced off this naked POC, or daily naked point of control, and kind of the POC of kind of acting as a zone. I think as well, if I switch to this one, I'll go back to the heat maps now. This is a macro local golden pocket as well. So this is pulled from 89k all the way up to the all-time high, and yeah, so that's also kind of confluence as to why we probably bounced where we bounced between the 96 and 97k. Going back to heat maps for now, we are, yeah, just wait. I don't know if we'll come down to 96 just yet. It's looking as futures is open kind of flat at the moment. So for the most part, probably go sideways and maybe creep a bit up. But just what I'm seeing, low term, low time frame money flow is trying to come up. You can see the 5 minutes looking for a cross, 6 minutes. It's kind of coming up as well. 7 minute. Yeah, it's trying to round up and come up. So for the most part, it's not unlikely that we go sideways and try and creep up on Bitcoin. But apart from that, it's not looking too good at this moment. And money flow is not really supporting another yeet. What I have seen as well was that spot CVD, which is cumulative volume delta, so buying versus selling basically, or the difference between the buying and the selling. There's been a lot of capitulation, lots of spot selling. Obviously, that's affected alts. Alts have just been absolutely obliterated. One thing to note as well, obviously, everyone looks at Bitcoin dominance as well.
Yeah.
So taking that into account, I've pulled a higher time frame. There was a higher time frame Fibonacci. So literally from this high, I think it was in the last run. So December 20, and I've pulled the low to the week of the August 29th to 22. So basically the bottom. And at this point now, we're just butting heads of the local golden pocket on Bitcoin dominance. The issue now with Bitcoin dominance, even if you're looking at the weekly, look how the money flow is still coming up. It's made a high there. It's made a higher high. If this comes up anymore, my thought is that we are going to hit this, dare I say it, Bitcoin dominance could go in the region of 66. There's a volume profile here. And this is, it's not looking good for alts at this point if it hits this POC. But when we fell out of this initially as well, kind of if we were going through the volume profile, we obviously fell out, back tested, came down. If you wanted to now put in a lower high around this area, you're more than likely going to tap. You're more than likely going to take this zone out again as a back test. So just something else I was looking at. So we could be in for a bit more obliteration on our alt bags. So could be a good point, but we're going to need then, at that point, then you're going to wait for, although I don't necessarily use market structure as much, you're going to want a break of structure. You're going to want at least the 4 hour on Bitcoin dominance to start putting in lower highs and lower lows at that point. So yeah, sorry, I can't really show it, but for the most part, that's, I think alts are still in for a bit more down based on that.
So, what do we got here? Boom. There we go. I need to turn my camera on, don't I? There we go. Okay. So what do you think about that? What do you think about that, Dave? You in conflict with PDT, or you in?
Yeah.
In sync with him?
Yeah, we're definitely in sync. Like you said, we're at the macro POC, which you can't really tell on here, but that's it right there. And so, like I was telling Billy, I'm just gonna let this take my profit, and then it'll probably bounce around here a little bit. And then if we can form a range in this area, then I'll wait for the high of that range to take it back down to the value area low. So I think
money
we do
flow
have
is not
lower coming.
Money flow and market structure is not supporting any big moves up at this point.
No,
It's favoring the downside.
100%.
but for me, I'm just gonna limit my risk, and
just stay on the safe side. You don't want to counter that, and it's probably been, for me, one of the hardest lessons. Obviously, we want to catch knobs. We want to say, I sniped the bottom or I sniped the top,
Yeah.
But that's not the safe way to do things. You're going to take 10,000 cuts, So stay safe. Go with the direction or the trend to be more safe than not. And if you do use market structure, obviously, go with the market structure. If you do use money flow and markets alpha B, go with the trend direction of the money flow. Generally favor the higher time frame money flows, which at this point is favoring downside. So
Yeah.
hate to say it, and I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but that's just what the charts are showing.
Now, on the good
That's
side, which it could
shorter
happen
market.
with y'all's alts, that when Bitcoin goes down, that's when dominance typically goes down. So you could see some bounces, and so if you play it right, if you're in the right narratives and you're paying attention, you'll get some good bounces.
Yeah, the issue at the moment though is that I think with this run specifically, you're going to have a lot more diamond handing in regards to the Bitcoin. So there's a lot more pressure to not sell, because obviously if you are selling any Bitcoin, who are you selling it to? You're selling it to BlackRock, you're selling it to Sailor, you know, you're selling it to the big players. And us, even me, I've got half a Bitcoin, right? Like I don't have a big bag, but it's something at least.
Yeah.
Do you have a Bitcoin dominance chart? You should see the green candle on the daily on the dominance chart. Massive. Bitcoin dominance is up to 61 now.
Holy crap.
Yeah, there was a green vector. I don't know let's look what the EMAs are doing. It's obviously it's bullishly postured. This is the problem as well. Another way to kind of check your trend, if you are looking at anything trend wise, is the 50 EMA above the 200 EMA? And this, you could probably think of this as a retail strategy, but a lot of people use it. Even big money use EMAs. They want to go with the trends, and they don't want to counter themselves. They may hedge at some point, but generally, it's on the daily. It's postured hella bullish, and I presume on the weekly, it's postured hella bullish. Yeah, so it's like, and it's had the weekly golden cross there, kind of April last year. So it's bullish. Why would you fade it? But yeah, getting back to my point of just the fact that I think the diamond handing now is probably the way. Like, I'm not going to sell my Bitcoin. Like, do you think? Obviously, I don't have a lot, but I think this is the thing. The paper handing, I think, is coming into the fact that the capitulation is happening with the alts. So obviously, a lot of people are just like, I'm already down. I'd rather just either tax harvest or just get rid and buy back in lower. And then obviously try and make the losses up. But in kind of this cycle now, based on where we're at with the ETFs and kind of the big players accumulating a lot, it's probably, if you do hold any Bitcoin, just hold on to it rather than not sell it. And also as well, scarcity. Obviously, the further we get along, closer to 2030, the less Bitcoin there's going to be. I think 2040 or something like that was the last Bitcoin was going to be mined. So yeah, not too sure on the facts of that, but
no, it's it's like 130,
maybe
40 years.
2140.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, 2140. Okay, yeah. But
Yeah.
okay, fact check me and sort me out. But this is the thing. Bitcoin dominance is on a rager, and so is Bitcoin. Bitcoin's controlling everything. So to stay safe, you probably, if trading, just trade Bitcoin, or if you want to accumulate anything now, although some people just say because of price wise, I don't want to buy Bitcoin above 100K or above 90K.
Yeah, and Andy in the chat, she has a good point. She said it's only, don't forget that it's only a problem if you've invested more than you can afford to lose. So that's the name of the game, risk management.
Yeah, risk management, and you have to have a long-term outlook. This is the thing.
Yeah.
Everyone wants the quick money, right? But that's what trading is for. You don't want quick money on a spot bag. Spot bag has to have a long-term view, right?
I think Berkey's got the right idea. Nobody can have my cash.
Burke, give your cash to Retromark Tech. He needs some.
I mean, the inside scoop says that RMT is a closet cast lover.
Let me tell you,
I'm never gonna live that.
He doesn't need CAS. I mean, he's mining it. We know that now.
RMT was the first cast miner that I knew about. Like he was the guy that, So he and then Redman was mining cast too. So like in a very a couple of years ago, it was like that's kind of what turned. And Burke. So it was RMT, Burke, and Redman were kind of like my mining guys that I talked to, and it was all cast. So, oh man, that's why it tickles me when we talk about.
I think that there's just so many lessons to be learned in this space. I feel like if we joke about it, like ousting a certain coin, or even like being a Bitcoin maxi, like there's so many people that are onboarded into the Bitcoin community because they buy a silly meme coin. I don't know. I compare it to like going to church and like the people who dress all fancy with suits telling the other people who want to wear jeans, like, don't be here. Like, you would do that. Like, everyone is welcome. Everyone can learn something. Everyone has their own investment thesis. And so if you want to sit there and buy some meme coins, get in, get out, make a profit, and then keep putting that into buying Bitcoin. I don't know, the Bitcoin maxi narrative, I think it could be kinder to get more people in to better understand the overall vision of why this is important.
Well
And
said.
there's maxis in every coin, Amy.
For sure.
I've seen them in Litecoin. I've seen them in Caspa. I've seen them all over. I think each one of these coins has a specific strength to it that I like. And so I like many different coins. And I could just anything in crypto, eventually it's going to go up. Eventually it's going to go up. Whatever it is, it could be the most degen, like just crazy coin. Eventually somebody's going to get a hold of it and it will go up. But I think that's where the maxis, this is kind of the environment that these Bitcoin maxis thrive in, because they see the rest of the market just pillaged, and their coin is still doing good. And so they say, see, I told you guys, Bitcoin is the coin that runs them all. And it is the daddy, but there's technical things with Bitcoin that aren't as good as with Cas. There's technical things there's fundamental things with Cas that there isn't as good with Litecoin, or so you gotta pick and choose your poison and run with it, or you could just get along with everybody and show the strengths of every coin. And that's what we're trying to do here.
There's so many use cases out there. And I will just say, I have not seen an interview that Jack Mallers does that I sit there and I'm like, I disagree with that. Most of the things that he says, Bitcoin related, and how store of value and it's the king and there's no second best. And I was like, well, second best if you're comparing it to Bitcoin in what it's meant to do. But I mean, there are other use cases and other reasons why crypto does exist. And so when you're ending the conversation with Bitcoin period, it doesn't allow people to ask questions and learn. So there will be use cases and there are use cases. And so you can have an open mind or you cannot. It's all your financial thesis, I guess.
Yeah.
Ethereum, the Ethereum Sol argument, same thing.
Right.
Is Sol going to be the ETH killer? Every time somebody says ETH killer, I'm like, oh great, here we go. Sol's going to
be the ETH
pump to
killer.
the moon now. What's that?
I agree, Dave. If anything killed ETH would do it itself.
I like to do a great job of killing ETH.
The ETH Foundation will kill ETH. They will kill ETH.
I don't know when it's going to go away, but I think ETH is the ass Jeeves. I just think it's just old technology, and there's a lot of people there, so it's hard to get off, but eventually they'll jump ship.
Yeah. Well,
everyone see Justin Sun's argument to make ETH better, and I think he's got a lot of validity in what he was saying. There's lots of, I think
Base has made ETH better. I think Base has made ETH a lot better, actually. I think
Base
it's
gives
kind
it
of
promise. Yeah.
Yeah. So the gas fees are much cheaper. It's much faster with Base. And these things are going to come out. Billy's right. Billy told me a long time ago. He goes, Caspa's got great tech now, but wait a couple of years when the next Caspa comes out. And he's right. They're always going to come out with better tech. I mean,
and if you're smart, you continue to look. You're not married to one project, and you just find that next CAS.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So for a few of us, we're more hybridized in the way we view things. Obviously, we have spot bags, but like for me specifically, I'm more of a trader. I think Dave as well is more of a trader. Poya is more of a trader, and one thing I've learned specifically this one is you've got to trade what moves. Sol memes, they move. AI agents, they move, or when they have. Obviously now, not now, but
or
you
Bitcoin. Bitcoin moves.
When Bitcoin moves, you trade it. You have to trade the volatility and you have to trade the movement. You can't, as a trader, you want to get in and out of a trade as quickly as possible, specifically when scalping. So you
Billy has a word that I love.
Like Solana and they've outperformed because they're moving. Like you don't want to trade something that's not going to give you your percentages. And that's kind of been ETH. ETH is just not given percentages this run. Okay, yes, if you bought it at the bottom at 900, 950, yes, on spot.
And
You've
and
got a
really,
3 or
ETH came in.
4x.
ETH came
But
in as a big
Solana's
ticket play.
20x or whatever it is from the bottom.
No.
$8, $9 to $200 or whatever it is.
Yeah, but regular
So-
people with regular money couldn't play ETH. You know, and
And
I
now
think
we're
that was
gonna
its downfall.
we're gonna see that with Rune now. Rune has gone to $1. What's gonna happen next year? We look at Rune again and it's $15, and Billy's gonna be like, "I bought it at 20 cents."
I love when that happens. Those are good conversations to have.
And you just buy and hold until it goes back up again. You know, I mean, this is not rocket science. It's pretty easy. It's pretty easy unless the coin is changing the protocol and it's changing the fundamentals of the coin. If price is going down and nothing has changed fundamentally.
Well, isn't that what Rune did? Didn't they change some
Well, they
stuff up and they went
devs-
insolvent over it?
They did some things, yeah.
They changed policy or whatever it was. This was kind of my TLDR. And then the devs and a lot of big bag holders dumped because they have no faith in the owner or whoever it is of Rune. And yeah, they just sort of like, we want out, we're just going to dump. And from what I've heard as well and seen is that a lot of big communities have told their communities to dump their Rune bags as well. Like literally just throw the towel in and let it go as far
Rand
down
said
as it
it's
can go.
really
And then
insolvent.
And it's down 90%.
Well, no, they had to stop their staking protocols because they had liquidity issues. So, I mean, that right there, as soon as I heard that, I was like, that's it.
it's another. Everyone is calling it Luna 2.0, but I don't think it's going to get that bad because there is still liquidity there.
Yeah,
And it's not a
algorithmic.
it's not an algorithmic stablecoin.
Yeah.
There's utility in it, right? Although the ecosystem is also not as big as what it could be and kind of has as much utility as other coins. So it just remains to be seen. I don't think it'll fail kind of outright, but obviously
I mean, it's a
death
DEX
spiral
coin.
basically.
Yeah, it's a DEX coin.
And shout out to Crypto Coin Mindset on X. We see you in the chat over there.
One of the things
Oh,
that
Keith, good to see you, man.
Oh,
Go ahead.
yeah.
Sorry, Polly.
one of the things that I've been kind of looking at is, everybody's always talking about inflation. But the thing that you really need to worry about is stagflation. Because when you have stagflation means you still have inflation, but there's less jobs are paying less, and that is when things start to get real dicey. I've been trying to figure out, because I haven't been trading much because this price, I hate that this price action is terrible. So I'm just waiting to get to 4-hour bottoms. I'm not, because it's that type of trading not for me. But I've been doing research, and that's the one thing. Like the last run that we had, I'm an old school person, so I'm in a lot of the old, like the OG stuff. And I'm, when we first started there, when we were getting out of the bear market, I was pretty confident with some of my entries, and we merry-go-rounded them, and then we took a bounce, and when we bounced in November, if you want to look at bigger time frames now, we've done a lower high. So that's the one thing that I'm looking at as far as trading. But as far as the market is concerned, I think that this year we're just gonna have a lot of stumbling and the I guess where's the market gonna go, and I'm talking about just like jobs, like normal, like food prices and stuff like that, because I don't care what anybody says, man. Like when I got one kid, and I know guys have 3 or 4 kids, and they're like, dude, we can't even go to McDonald's anymore. And I was like, why? They're like, dude, it's like $60. I was like, what? So I think that we still have to taper some of the pricing. I think that when our last run was was the C19 thing, and that C19 thing, people were sitting at home doing nothing with money, Now I think it's a little bit different. So
It's funny you bring that up, Pollo, about the McDonald's thing. So that's the whole so obviously I started posting the gym stuff for the accountability, but I started posting the food stuff because people kept complaining about how much their food was at McDonald's and all this. So my whole point was to post that I could have a steak, eggs, avocado, and a jalapeno for $7.50. And I could get home and cook it faster than you could go through the line at McDonald's. And it's way better and cheaper.
Yep.
You know, I just don't know why people are still going through the line at McDonald's. It's so much. I mean, it's just as fast to cook a steak and eggs than you can get through that line at McDonald's. I promise you. You're 12 minutes or something like that, and you're done with cooking steak and eggs. So it's
and there's a channel of somebody that because they're like they don't like the way the food is done in the United States, which it's a lot different. Like when you go to Europe, like you have McDonald's in Europe or Burger King in Europe, it tastes way different. And it's like you look at the ingredients that our foods have and the ingredients that, you know, other countries have. And like ours may have 20 and theirs may have like 3 or 4. So those are things that, you know, we're like, I think this year is going to be kind of like the next couple of months is going to give us a better, you know, outlook on, you know, properties. Because like I said, you know, you start looking at things like in Florida, insurance is out of control. Like it is out. When I tell you it's out of control, car insurance, and then like God forbid you have to file a claim, you know, like, but in Florida, like there's only one insurance company now. It's like privatized insurance. There's just one insurance company, and you can't get flood insurance. It's just very difficult. And you know, the housing problem in Florida, it's starting to taper off, but I mean, it's still ridiculous. And I think that's happening. It's not just here that it's happening. I know it's happening in other places. So eventually that stuff has to taper off because I just think it's out of control, you know?
There's a movement here in the UK that are trying to get out of this or trying to affect the price gouging. So our insurance, like my car insurance, has gone up equivalent of maybe about $200. I've still got like no claims, still the same car, not had accidents, but like they just put the price up. And it's like stupid, right? You should actually be getting money off if you're a good driver, or, you know. And also house insurance just goes up. Why? Obviously, maybe your house gets a bit older, but it's just like, yeah. So there's a guy in the UK
we've met them
to stop this whole price gouging, and I think that might be kind of where it gets to. And also as well with your stagflation, that's where your issue comes in. If your salary or the money you've got coming in doesn't go up to match those increased costs, that's a big issue for people to live in, kind of affordability. And there's obviously creates further issues down the line for people's kind of cost of living and way of living, right? So big issues at the moment that just need to be resolved. How they resolve them, when they resolve them is probably just time and seeing how things go. But you guys got it just as bad as America now has at the moment.
You can't get a job at McDonald's if they're not hiring.
Well, Amy, you work in finance. Like, what are you seeing? Like, are you seeing people being more liquid? Are you seeing people, you know, investing as much as you? I mean, this is what you're doing. So what are you seeing?
Well, I am an ex-TradFi employee. Happy to say that. But no, what I will say from my 7 years in that space, and obviously going the boring route and getting like economics degrees and things, if people can't afford to pay their bills or buy groceries, they're not spending money to buy an altcoin and cross their fingers. As much as, you know, there's a meme coin out there that could potentially give you some quick short-term gains. When people have fear of living day to day, you're not going to see movement in this market. It's very much a trickle-down effect. So I think there is a lot of fear. I think people were hopeful initially when Trump got into office just because they felt like the economy was going to change immediately. I think there's just so many moving parts that we just need to kind of sit tight and see what actually happens with somebody in office that has the personality like Trump. And I am sure there's nobody else who has a personality like Trump. It's kind of one of those, I think people are genuinely hopeful. I mean, people voted for this, so this is what they wanted. I think people were hopeful for him to make changes. I just think people are hesitant on what could actually come to fruition. So we'll see Tuesday when these tariffs come through, how the market actually reacts. Again, we're saying this is a long-term play that's going to have really hard short-term consequences. But as far as crypto and things moving right now, there's not liquidity. If people don't have the money to put into things, things aren't going to be able to move, and people are going to panic sell because, again, we see this every cycle. People don't understand what's happening. Why is it red? I'm an idiot for getting into this. Why would I put money into this crazy thing? And they'll sell. And then they'll even out towards the end. But people have to have money to be able to, have the freedom to invest it and things like that. I think that's why we get into crypto. We want the freedom of finance to be able to, focus on other things in life. If we're living paycheck to paycheck and we can't pay the bills or we can't get the right food we want, then we can't focus on our health. We can't focus on physical health or mental health or the things we want to do and teach our kids. So when they say, fix the money, fix the world, it's true. But we're sitting in this stagnant place of, we better hurry up and fix this money situation quick because the world is waiting on us.
Amen. Amen. I agree with that. Let's take a real quick intermission here as far as letting everybody know you guys are watching BillyGoatTales. We appreciate you. What is BillyGoatTales? We are simply a personal development space under the umbrella of the cryptocurrency industry, and we're here to help you. Any new creators, anybody that needs a voice, come on our Twitter X space, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We love to pass the microphone, bring up questions, and just get involved. Ask your questions. That's what this channel's for. That's what our X space is for. We're one of you. We are one of the people that came into this, and we want to pass on as much value and information as we possibly can. And we do that in many different forms, right? We do that. We wrote a children's book. We're writing a second children's book because we do believe that the younger generation is the future of crypto. They're going to be the future decision makers, and we want to keep them safe, and we want to keep them learning about crypto. And also, I'm sure most of our fam knows here, but we do have an NFT project. Just go to BillyGoatTales.io, and our NFT is right there. We're building out some really good value. I can at least say that in our Discord, we're opening up some private channels. If you have the NFT, you're going to be able to get some really good value that you're not going to get anywhere else. It's going to be unique to us, and we're excited about that. It's probably a couple of weeks away, a week and a half away from that. And we're also putting together a trip to meet the BGT team, where if you own one of our NFTs, you're going to be put on a wheel. We're going to spin the wheel, and you're going to come to a nice lake cabin on the lake with us, and we're going to do some cook. All you have to do is get there. You don't have to buy, just get there. Everything's taken care of. The place, the food, the trips that we're going to do, it's all going to be taken care of. So we're plotting and planning for that. And it's just a way to get to know everybody, because we all believe a lot of us have made connections in real life. And when you make those connections, it's just another format that you can kind of know who you're talking to, know how they think about things. They're just not a digital voice that you're seeing on TV or on YouTube or on Twitter X. So we encourage getting out and meeting everybody. We've been doing that. We love doing that. We love going to the show. We're going to miss you, Amy, not being there, but you got the best reason of everybody not to be there. So we appreciate that.
I will miss being there, but like I said, somebody will be able to go in my place, and everyone should try to get there. It's such an amazing experience.
It is. So we appreciate that. Now we also give away, I have a number. I already put it in the private chat. We're going to go 1 to 100. Jay Violet won last time. But what you need to do right now, if you want a copy of the children's book, Bridge to Bitcoin, autographed copy, all you have to do is put a number from 0 to 100 in the chat, and we'll pull a winner, and we will send you a copy of Bridge to Bitcoin, and hopefully you can use that with your children or your grandchildren or your nieces and nephews or whoever you want. But just put a number from 0 to 100, and we'll pull a winner here in a few minutes here. It's always fun, right? It's always fun.
Love a good giveaway.
Love a good giveaway. So, Dave, we teased out on our thumbnail, not just Amy, of course, but we're always looking for new coins ourselves. We all have a DGen bag. I have a trading bag, I have a long hodl bag, and I have a DGen bag, right? And so we all have a little bit of a risk-taking part of this whole crypto thing. So we try to at least bring up some coins that get on our radar, and never financial advice. The one that we're going to talk about today, I don't own or haven't even really, I didn't pay attention to it until Dave brought it up. But Dave, you want to get into that a little bit?
Yeah, so definitely it's not something that we're degenerate into or anything like that. Just something, we just simply look to see what people are talking about. We see what are the trending topics, what's coming up, what's going on Google as it relates to Bitcoin and crypto. So what kept coming up is we saw PayFi was coming up over and over again, and so was the VVV coin. So those are the two that seem to be getting a lot of attention. And I know that some of you have already done a little bit of research, so you can kind of shed some light on why they are getting attention.
Yeah, let me pull up. Give me 1 second, Dave.
I think the VVV coin, it's got one of the big players in there. I don't remember.
Eric Voorhees.
There you go.
Yeah.
Who is trustworthy in this space.
Yeah, he's like an OG in this space. So
yeah.
For those of you who aren't aware, he was the guy who was like the part of Shapeshift. That was back in the day. And then he also was pretty well known for was it Satoshi Dice was the big sale that he had. So Satoshi Dice back in the day was a game where you could like actually play to get Satoshis. And then he ended up selling that for like 120 Bitcoin. So back in the day, it didn't seem like a ton, but now that's like billions of dollars. So he's got money, you would think. But this was an airdrop that went out to some people originally. It's taking a dive now today. I think it's down to like, 319? It was 308 earlier this afternoon, but it's questionable, and it's gotten in the news just because people were talking about, I think they were saying 25% of the team had the token, sold it. It took a dive. People were talking about how honest that was. He came back on Twitter and said, dude, it was only like 1% of what was out there. So there's definitely mixed reactions as far as the legitimacy of a rug pull, if that's what people were trying to make it seem like. So I think that's why it's down today. People are unsure if that could happen again, how many people have their hands on it that are inside that could sell. So yeah. AI play.
And it's something too that whenever you see a lot of assets start out like this. So whenever you get into the team and find out who's behind it, that's really what you want to decide if you're going to buy, if you're not going to buy. Because really you're not buying price go up, you're buying, they're going to be working in the background and they're going to get some traction. And I think he's one that we can, if there's somebody that we can semi-trust, he's one of them.
Well, and somebody who has that much money and that much influence in the space, they're going to do everything that they can to make it not be a rug or a fail. Like that's just so much on their image. You would think, again, not financial advice,
right.
But playing into the AI narrative, especially with DeepSeek coming out and all these privacy coins getting more and more popular, the intention behind this one was he wanted to add that extra layer of security and privacy in between using like a ChatGPT or DeepSeek. So it's definitely something that people have asked for, and people crave it in the space. So if it can actually deliver on its promises and come to fruition, it makes sense for this time that we would need a project like that. So temporarily down, but.
And if there's somebody with the resources, not just the money, but the people that that's the team that would have that, because they've been involved ever since the beginning. I think he was also involved in Mt. Gox back in the day, wasn't he?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a book I read with him correlated to that. I forget which one.
Yeah. I think he made a lot of money back then. Yeah. and then he's just been working in the space since. It's not necessarily always on the front line or front headlines, but he's always in the background working.
No doubt. So sorry, I was pulling up the other one here. Share screen. Let me find it. Give me 1 second.
The other thing I wanted to mention about that project, just for those of you who are going to continue to do research, they gained a lot of traction by saying it was that extra layer of privacy. But if you read the white paper and really fine-tooth comb everything, VVV does have your IP address and also email address. So at first they came out saying, we have nothing, we will hold nothing, everything will be encrypted. Privacy 100%. So that was a little like side note that people were mentioning about the project. Is it really privacy? I mean, is it as secure as what they're saying? So, I mean, IP address is questionable. But again, Eric Voorhees, like, you can't discredit projects from him. I think I might degen. I might grab a little. Just a little.
A little bit of FOMO, just a little bit.
It's down a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely down a lot, and that's when you want to buy a project like that. That's how Jason would do it, and he looks at it like this. He said, "Look, if you put in his numbers, put in $1,000 and it goes up 15x, great. If it goes to zero, what did you lose? If you had it to lose, it's no big deal."
Right.
Speaking of that, guys, I want to ask everybody, what's a coin that you're looking at that is super down that you're like, okay, I just might get some? And I'll start. It's TIA for me. I missed the TIA train, and TIA's kind of looking really cheap right now. Obviously, Dave, we'll start with you.
I don't have one. I'm not DJing like that, really.
Well,
I'm
Billy?
just
Wow, I'm big on buying ISO coins right now. So I am, as you guys know, on our team, I am getting ready to pull the trigger on some of the ISOs. I already have a few of them, right? Of course, I've had XRP since 17, right? I still have my bag of XRP. Of course, I have a good chunk of ADA because we're Cardano guys, man. Of course, I have ADA. I've had ADA a long time. I believe in ADA. I believe in the blockchain. I use the blockchain. I use almost every part of that blockchain. So of course, I'm going to have ADA, but both those just happen to be ISO coins. And of course, you have XDC, XLM, Quant,
HBAR
as ISOs. So and my thesis on this, and again, don't follow me because we're all different. We all have different goals and investment timelines and things like that. But the way I'm looking at it for myself is these ISO coins already have utility. They already are good on their own. So if I happen to buy a big bag of them and we've hit the top and we're coming down and the bear's here, it's just, 2 years of holding and they go back up for me. So it's like my timeline's really long on those. But with that said, please keep in mind, my number one coin in my bags is Bitcoin. So I do have 20 alts, but dollar wise, my biggest bag is Bitcoin. So use discretionary income. That's what I do. It's like, hey, I'd rather put this in this as the opportunity cost than this over here, right? Almost everything since I've been in crypto has been the opportunity cost mindset in my head. Like I could buy this, but I could also buy Bitcoin. Does it make sense? And then when you using the discretionary degen money, well then, okay, if I lose it, it's gone. Right. So that's kind of the way I frame it in my own head. So I would just say the ISO coins, Polio. I don't have like one particular coin in my mind. I'd say ISOs.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so you know me, I have a giant bag of Algo. that was a blessing for me. And again, I think I'm like everybody else. I have a bag of XRP, and then I have some H bar as well. I don't have any quant though. That's the one that I never really paid attention to. It was quant.
In full disclosure, the idea, just to prove myself wrong in this snapshot of time right now, just to show you how difficult this is. I don't care who you are. Amy has her investment license. I had mine back in the day. I went through all the training. It's tough. It doesn't matter how long you've been in the market. It doesn't matter how long you've been trading. It's still tough. And so I love Polkadot. I love that layer 0. I bought DOT back in 21 at $50, and I just been DCA and staking it for all these years now, since 21. And what it's done is really lowered my cost of entry, my basis, and it's allowed me to accumulate a lot more DOT, because back in like 22 and 23, I was earning 2-3 DOT a day by staking it. And you did that for days and days, years, right? And so I have a nice sized position of DOT, mostly because I staked it, and I added more to it to get my cost basis down. And I still believe in the project, but if you look at the price point of DOT, you're like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And that's just one that I believe on its own has utility. I stay up with them because I own a good chunk of it. So I stay up with it on Twitter. I go into their website. I try to keep up with what they're doing. And of course, on our own channel, we looked at where the devs rest and the dev movement, and Polkadot's always in the top 10, a lot of times in the top 5. With that said, it could be the dinosaur coin. There's all these new projects that are coming on. And so you just got to be cautious of all of that landscape and make sure you take that into your thinking when you're investing, because there's a lot of new technology. Look at Caspa. Caspa come along super fast. Who knows? I've seen price predictions on Caspa that blow me away, right? As far as where it can go. So you just never know. Be careful. Be safe. Keep the big broad landscape in mind.
Yeah. Redman. I know Redman's gonna give us an interesting one.
Can I talk?
Yeah.
All right, my mic's on.
I hear what Redman is looking at, man. I want to know what's the one that you missed out on that you're like, all right, I'm gonna get some of this.
Definitely. Well, FET for one. I think FET AGIX kind of started the AI movement. So that was a real big pumper before near render, all that got pretty popular. So yeah, I'm accumulating FET right now on my VGen plays. I don't know. I think your first 5 or 6 AI agents are probably a safe bet for when the market starts pumping again. Like your AI XBT and your Feign and your AI 16Z, but yeah, this is definitely buying opportunities. I'd just kind of wait until you see a bottom formed and then ape back in.
Yeah, man. Looks like Rocco has joined us down there. Hola!
Rocco, we can't hear him.
Rocco. We can't hear Rocco. Rocco, your mic is off.
I think he's talking to somebody. He might
on
be
a live stream chatting with somebody else. I love him.
Yeah.
Let's blow him up and watch. There's a
wonderful man. He just smiles all the time. Kindest person.
Getting a little up nostril. Shot
Rocco.
I still think that he doesn't know that he's on the live right now. That's awesome.
That's funny, man.
You never put the barbecue chicken on the pizza. Never. You never. Yeah, baby.
I want to know, Amy, what you got? I want to know what you got. I know there's one that you're looking at.
So I will say, I missed the train on Sui. I believed in it, but I was always kind of that one who was like, I'm going to put in a buy at this level. And then it never quite hit. And it kept going and going and going. I think it's going to hit now. So I'm going to put some in Sui. I believe in that project. But to be honest, like the degen came out in me recently, and I took a chance on Toshi coin. And that did well for me. Like I got in at like 0.0005. And even though it's down a little bit, I was able to take out, my initial investment. And now I'm just sitting on a moon bag. So that's like the biggest degen play I've done in a while. Otherwise, I just continue to add to my HBAR bag. VeChain is still down. I'll always be like pro VeChain. All goes down. I'll get some of that. I'm very much like altcoin season will come. I feel like we're good as far as Bitcoin goes for now. So I just want to get as much as I can into altcoins because I'm going to flip at the end. And then whatever I have for profits, then I'll just wait. And then I'll buy Bitcoin when it's down and we'll do it all over again. That's kind of my thesis.
Yeah.
The goal is to always get more Bitcoin. So you're not going
to buy high and sell low.
People, like I'm just take a breath. Panic selling, I just feel for people. It's such a real thing, but like we're emotional beings. We're emotional beings. Like we're supposed to react to things like that. But if you can control that in you, I mean, you got it down. So yeah, I play with the little stuff to get more of the big guy.
Yeah.
100%. Let's see, Rocco, can you hear us? You're muted. Can you unmute? Let's see, unmute. There we go, Rocco. Can you hear us?
I can hear anybody.
Hey, there he is.
There he is.
Hola!
Hola, Rocco.
Let's try it again. We'll have
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, I did it. Yeah.
Yeah!
That's it. How you guys doing?
So good to see you.
Good to see you all. Yes. I kind of lost half of the show by trying to figure out all the technical difficulties, but hey, I did it. That's the most important thing. Yeah.
You're negotiating, Rocco. Looks like you were negotiating something out there with somebody.
No, I was trying. No, he's a person that I met many years ago, and we were talking. I didn't see for 3 years, and guess what? We were talking about Bitcoin. So he was talking about the fact that it's $100,000 now, and so just catching up a little bit. Yeah, it was good though. I was not negotiating. But I was more like, appreciating the fact that you remember about that.
Yeah, we're going to take that clip and we're going to add our own words to it.
Okay. We can use it like some voice alteration.
A little voiceover.
Like, hey, how are you?
Rocco's my
How you guys
favorite.
doing? Oh my God, I just had some very good stuff here, some very good pastries. You guys won't believe it. When you come down here in Vegas, it's gonna be a little dry, but I'm gonna get you to the right place for the coffee.
Yeah.
How the coffee master.
Today, Rocco?
What is it?
How warm is it there? What's the temperature?
Today it's surprisingly very good. I wanna say 70, something like that.
It is.
So, overdressed.
Yeah, so we can't all wait to
Yeah,
come
it's pretty nice.
to Vegas and raid the Sin City studio.
But yes, you guys gotta come and check it out because we did just we made so many upgrades and the wall and everything else. It's looks
The
beautiful.
set looks amazing. It's so good.
It looks nice. It's become more and more like a news outlet. It's something that's more legit, and we need this on the space so people can kind of relate because the legacy people, relate more to the old way of news. So that we need to get these people on board, try to convince them to get in. So that's the mission right there.
That's
Just make sure Rob has his shirt buttoned enough if that's the vibe you're going for.
What is it? Oh yeah.
Rob's shirt's a little unbuttoned, but I thought he was going.
We need to get rid of all these razor and those wax cream because he's still using that, so he thinks his chest is very shiny. So we need to make, or we need to stitch the shirt with some crazy glue so he can't open it anymore. So I'm trying. I'm trying.
We can work with this. We'll start.
Just tell Rob to get the club open.
Hey Jimmy, it's a battle. I'm working for you. You know that, right? I'm gonna make it
I
up.
know. There's been financial implications due to the fact.
I mean, it can be done.
I didn't like last week when you do the Rob versus Dave. Now you've got an actual picture of the club burning in the background.
Yeah, I was wondering about all the burning.
I didn't like that. I thought that was a shot
was
at
the
me.
club.
Let Rob know I'm not happy about it.
There was the club burning, Jimmy. That's exactly what it was. Yeah, that's where he took the scene from. Yeah, to make the verse. So
Yeah, I saw the fire and I had put in the chat, this is all very intense today, but I was out of the loop on that part.
It's okay.
Yes, I have a super chat ban. I'm not super chatting on Sin City until they open the club back up.
It's okay. I understand that, Jimmy.
So when you see me
right.
commenting, people making super chats, and I'm like, well, he's not a roach.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
He's not a real roach.
Doesn't deserve a super chat yet, No, probably doesn't want to make it one that is just basic. I don't know if it's they don't want to dance. I will dance. I'll make it something.
Rob,
it's okay.
And basic never occurs in the same sentence ever.
Listen, let's do something. Let's trade. I get the convince them to open the club, but you convince them to put a suit jacket and a shirt on that looks better. How about that?
Oh, I'd love a good suit jacket.
I'm definitely gonna make.
I lost you there for a second. Yes, but anyway, so
Jimmy freezing up.
Jimmy's frozen.
Whoa.
Jimmy froze up. Better call Cams
or something.
Jim froze. Jim froze on the club. Oh Jesus, no! It wasn't me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to make anybody dizzy with this camera moving around.
Me.
Yeah. Yes, today is beautiful here, guys. But anyway, so I'm glad I was able to. Thank you for letting me in. I really appreciate everybody for your time. And try to follow your show. Try, to
what's up
spread
with the
word.
store, Rocco? What's new with the store?
Let me help you out a little bit too, Rocco. If y'all haven't gone out and got a crypto almanac, y'all need to go get one of the almanacs. I got a box full of them myself. They're beautiful, good information, well put together.
Yes. Yeah, definitely, guys. You can check it out if you didn't get one. Yeah, try to get one as you can, as much as you can. So this one is collectible too. So you guys definitely want to have one of them. Yeah, that's nice. One of the first pros. There we go. Look at that.
Good
there we go.
Right there.
And it is actually printed backwards, so you have to read it. Nothing reads normal.
You get your NFT right there.
It's part of the encryption.
You get your NFT.
That's why you gotta find the Satoshi encryption there, and then you can read it. Yeah,
first class for sure, man. I got mine in the mail. I was so happy.
And then go buy this one.
First class for sure.
Go buy this book next.
Yep, Bridge of Bitcoin. Yeah. Rocco, thank you. You've been with us from the beginning, dude. Like day one. I think when we launched BillyGoatTales YouTube, I think you were
I was there from the beginning. Try to get to your space on X, of course. My time conflict also, and try to get in when I can if I get some extra days off. And but always there to support, share, like, press the like, whatever it takes. And try to put some other content out there, see if everybody catch up with some more. Who knows? Try to do 1,000 things at the same time. It just always run out of time most of the time.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah.
But Billy, you're doing also a great job.
Rocco.
Absolutely, guys. Yes, absolutely. Anytime you guys need anything, I'm here for you.
And likewise.
Thank you, Rocco.
We're here for you too, brother. Always.
All right, guys, things are gonna jump out because I get the sun in my eyes, so I can barely see anything on the monitor now. I'm pretty blind now.
Okay. All right, brother.
Try to keep it a good shot. Bye, everybody. Have a nice Sunday.
All
Ciao.
right, man.
Hi, Rocco.
Ciao. Ciao.
Take it easy, man.
So
Oh, love
Jimmy,
him.
yeah, he's awesome. Jimmy, what are you looking at, man? I want to know what Jimmy. And he's probably gonna say something we've never heard of. What you got, Jimmy? What are you looking to buy?
Now he's talking crypto, Jimmy. You guys, he's not talking WWE cards or anything. He's talking crypto.
Jeez, what is going on? My internet keeps dropping or something. What was the
We hear
question?
you loud and clear now.
Polio was asking you what.
coin, yeah, what coin are you looking at? That's like, okay, I missed out on this one. I might pick some up.
I mean, I don't too much FOMO like that. I mean, if I look at my list, I mean, really, it's going to be probably, things that I've gotten into in the last 3 or 4 months. It looks like, kind of at the bottom of my list. Like Stacks is in a good spot for me to buy. Aerodrome is in a great spot for me to buy.
Pick some of that up. I'm gonna pick some up right now.
What else? What else is in here? I mean, Akash is getting close to being in a good buy spot for me. It's still a little up from where I need it to be. But and PYR is actually in a great spot. Actually, I'll probably pick up some of that right after the show. But really, not getting into anything new. I mean, though, if someone's looking to do that, I mean, I think, do so cautiously. Probably dip your toe in the water to start, see what direction things go tomorrow, and then ape into something, new. I think it's a good time to do just that. But for me personally, I mean, I think I'm just going to be expanding positions that I already have that, I was just recently getting into that are kind of, I'm back to square one. So it's a good time. And a couple of those, I'm down a little bit. But everything else, I mean, I'm up. I mean, I got 18 other tokens that I'm still up on, even with this, little pullback here. So, I mean, I'm just going to be cautious this week.
The reason for that, Jimmy, is because you bought those, a while back. See,
feels like a century ago.
Yeah, and so when you come in at those kind of basis levels, those we hold them for a long time, but man, they typically do well for us. And you see, RMT said, if Jimmy says Gala, I'm quitting crypto.
I was hoping Jimmy was gonna say Gala just to get RMT mad.
No, I mean, I'm full on Gala right now. All of this has destroyed the price action of film. I mean, and it's plummeted. So I need all of that to, kind of come back some. And I'm not looking to increase my position in Gala now. Film kind of looks like there's a good opportunity right now. I mean, it's what did it go down to? It's at I can't find. Oh, there it is. It's at 3.5 cents right now, and I mean, it was sitting at 20. And that was kind of after, well after the launch. So that might be one of them fast moving logs when things turn around.
Yeah, sorry. I see Alexandra was saying just me isn't on Discord. So if you want to hook up with Dutchy or Jesse, they know how to DM me. What I'm going to be needing to get that book to you, just me, is your address. So make sure you're going through somebody that you trust, so that we can get your address so we can get you that book. So, but no problem on the Discord. We'll figure it out. We'll find a way.
You can go to the website and click on the little AI thing. That'll send us the information directly.
There you go. There you go, just me. Thank you. So did we go around the horn, Polio? Did everybody come up with your with your coin?
Yeah. I mean, we didn't ask DDT, but I don't know if DDT is doing any trading or I do have a spot bag DDT that's not Bitcoin.
He's an
Yeah,
agent.
I've got a spot bag. I've got Bitcoin, Link, Ethereum, Dot, XYO. What are the ones I have? Pendle, Ondo. So I've got diversified spot bag pretty much. At this point now, it's more degen bags like we've probably all been alluding to and just dipping our toes into. Got some memes that are absolutely wrecked, which I'll have to tax harvest. But I need to see what rotates next, because obviously we've had AI agents as the most recent one. And I didn't get into any, but there are a few that I was looking at. So obviously AI XPT being the prime one. And then you have AI 16Z, and another one I was looking at is ARC, so AI Rig. So there's a few that I am looking at, but obviously you just got to watch the rotation, see where money goes. As soon as we start getting a bounce, see what comes out the gates first. At this point, specifically with anything I'm going to be putting money into, I'm not going to be bottom feeding. I would rather wait for strength. So when they start trending and you can see that, yeah, they found a bottom, that's probably when I'll start dipping toes. But yeah, I'm looking at AI agents still for the time being. They've shown kind of the most strength relative to what the other altcoins have. But if there starts to be any new narratives, obviously I check. There's a way to do it. You just check CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko. You look for your top 100 movers by 24 hour, or even if you can go like 4 hour or 1 hour, you just see what's starting to move out the gates, and it might be a coin that you're not aware of. And then obviously you just, you go down the rabbit hole and find out what each project is and maybe dip toes. But for the most part, just waiting for a reversal, basically. I'm not going to be throwing money now and bottom feeding and hoping that they turn and start running up. So just got to be patient.
That's right. All right, guys. Well, I can't believe it. We've been streaming 2 hours. We try to end this show with a little Jimmy Jim action, because everybody's interested in what Jimmy Jim's up to. So we got Jimmy Jim's final thoughts. What's on your mind, Jimmy Jim? Tell us about those cards, man. Tell us about those cards.
Actually, the card business has been quiet this week. I haven't done anything but bag and log cards probably 3 hours a night for the last week. I had a buddy come over for the weekend, hung out on Saturday, and we did the same. That front's been a little bit quiet. I've got a few breaks later tonight, but not a lot of action, not like the last month has been. But on the crypto front, man, it's get your mop buckets, get your mops. Let's sop up some blood this week. Just be careful, be cautious. I think Monday could just be ugly. But I think by mid next week there could be some easy, quick swing trades to be made for sure. Anytime it does this.
Yeah, it didn't happen to us. It happened for us. We just got to take advantage of it. No doubt about it.
Yeah, there you go.
100.
So, Amy, thank you for taking the time.
You guys so much
coming on our show.
Yeah,
we just love you.
Good to see you.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Congrats, Amy.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yes, congratulations.
And with that, guys, we're going to close it down. We appreciate everybody stopping in and saying hi to us. And please like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time on BillyGoatTales.